Views expressed in the videos are my observation, analysis of events, persons based on principles of astrology. It's not my intent to predict, forecast absolute outcomes, only suggest how they may unfold. Nothing is set in stone. I could be wrong, but often I'm right. My desire is not to promote fear, only inform about what we see unfolding. It is our wish to prepare our subscribers for events that could affect them, their family, their goals, and their future, to help to prepare for what you may already suspect is happening, and to send a warning shot across the bow and raise a flag of concern. Our goal is to help, not hinder, in these perilous times, to inspire and offer possible direction, and to reveal that a greater plan and purpose are behind all that is happening. Eventually, we will see a brighter day. If you would like to show your appreciation for our work on these videos or this channel, and also the Knowing Whispers channel, you can always click on the word thanks at the bottom of all the videos. Hello everybody, it's Robert Cosmar of the Astrology of Life YouTube channel and also the Wisdom for Those Awakening YouTube channel. Today I am going to be doing a video talking about the ingress of Neptune into Aries and also Pluto into Aquarius. And what I want to do in this video is to try to help you to see and understand what this means astrologically and what we see and what we are feeling consciously that is evolving and happening in the world around us. I think that probably by now everybody understands that there has been a tremendous shift in the way we feel, the way we think, and how we view our life and how we are looking at things as they continue to develop. And from an astrological standpoint, when you're talking about the ingress of Pluto into Aquarius and you're talking about Neptune into Aries, what you're saying is what the astrology is indicating, okay? Now, when you talk about Neptune going into Aries, Aries is a fire sign. Aries is the energy of leadership. It's the energy of taking action, okay? Get her done type of energy. When Neptune enters into that energy, there can be two things that occur. One of those is that for those who respond to the energy of Neptune, they may feel led to create or to take action or to do things that are in accordance with their own higher purpose. For those that are not attuned to the energy of Neptune, this can bring tremendous confusion, tremendous disorientation, and this is reflected at the highest level when you see what is going on, for example, in the White House and what you hear is going on in regards with Donald Trump, is that there is no real logical reasoning behind a lot of the things that are being done. No real clarity that people can actually buy into. And Neptune is going to be in the sign of Aries for a considerable period of time. So from a level of consciousness, what this is saying to me is that you have to be moving forward at a higher level of conscious knowledge about what the universe is doing. Because if you try to do things based upon old thinking, old energy, old ways, you're not going to be able to accomplish that, because Neptune is an energy that requires tremendous depth of feeling for you to be able to tap into it spiritually, creatively, consciously. If you try to figure it out with your mind, all you're going to find out is that you're very frustrated. Okay? So Neptune going into Aries is what we see going on, particularly for those particular entities that are involved in Aries energy, such as the government, the military, and things like that. And of course, because of the individuals that Donald Trump has chosen in certain areas, there is tremendous Neptunian confusion that is going on across the board in all of those particular areas. Okay. Now, the thing that you need to understand is you don't want to get caught into this mindset of gloom and doom. Okay, that is pretty prevalent right now, because what you see happening, okay, is something that the universe obviously is allowing. Okay, and we have these two sides. We have those that are looking for more conscious evolution, and we have those that feel like that we're about a week away from, everything going to HELL. Okay. We even know here now that apparently there's a rift between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. So more confusion, more drama. Okay. All right. Now, when you throw on top of this Pluto going into Aquarius, Aquarius, of course, rules the 11th house in the natural zodiac. It's ruled by Uranus, which is highly individualistic, very revolutionary. Okay. Pluto going into the sign of Aquarius is why we see all of this change, unexpected change that's going on. Okay, particularly coming from obviously the White House and what they're doing, what Musk did for a while. All right. And if you are putting all of your money on feeling or thinking that the old way of doing things will return, or the old way must return, you're going to be bringing a lot of anxiety and suffering upon yourself, because this is a time of massive global national change. And it requires an evolution in consciousness. And this is why I have found that in doing my work with astrology, whether it's with a client or whether it's with the videos that I do here, that I have to shift some of my interpretation away from the mundane, the old way of seeing things, the old way of things, expecting them to be that way, into understanding that astrologically and consciously, we are moving into a time where it will require a change in consciousness, okay, of humanity, okay? Otherwise, if humanity is not wanting to change, then you could see the negative effect of both Neptune, okay, and Pluto, okay, which in terms of the mundane energy, they don't work real well together, okay? Pluto, of course, can bring transformation, or it can bring death and destruction. Neptune can bring inspiration and enlightenment. It can also bring confusion, okay, and a lot of chaos, okay? So we have a choice here, and like I said here earlier, it's why I find that I have to go through this change in my astrology that I'm offering to you on the internet. It's so that you truthfully understand what is going on, and you understand that it's happening because it was literally foreordained and fated by the universe. Okay? And if you take a look at history, okay, go back 300-400 years, look how far we've come. Look how much we have learned, all the changes that we have gone through. And of course, when you're my age, which a lot of you are, or you were a child of the 60s and the 50s, you kind of want to hold on to those old ways, those old values, all right? But if you look back 100, 200, 300 years, you understand and realize that it's been a process of growth and evolution that is not going to stop, okay? And we have to be willing to make adjustments, okay? We either have to get out of the way of the truck that's coming, or the truck's going to run us over, okay? So, and this really has to do with not just these two particular energies, okay? Jupiter's going to be going into Cancer here, okay, pretty soon, probably within maybe a week or two. This should bring some relief emotionally, or a uplifting of the effect, okay, that Saturn has been bringing and that Saturn will bring. Saturn down here is entering into Aries. Saturn is a very restrictive energy, an energy which is very limiting, okay? But on the positive side, It can bring organization and structure. Okay, now the complexity of this, though, of these two energies that I've talked about in previous videos, when you have Neptune and Saturn in a hard aspect, conjunctions, squares, and oppositions in your chart, you are conflicted, okay, between the unknown and the known. All right, you want to rely upon what you know, but it doesn't quite feel right. All right, there's too much chaos and change going on around me or our life. And I would imagine that most of you, in some way, shape, or form, depending upon your natal chart and what is happening in that chart, are going through this same bewilderment. In fact, when I put out a post this morning, I think over on Substack and on Facebook, I used the word despair. Okay, I feel like in one way or another that there's a deepening despair that is being felt, almost a hopelessness that is felt, okay, because nothing seemingly has happened. You know, the Democrats very slowly are starting to rise up, okay, and to speak out against things. Fortunately, the courts, some of the judges have come through, okay, and resisted allowing Trump to do randomly what he wants to do. But all in all, because things haven't gone back to the way that we would like them to, or at least some would like them to, there is still that lingering fear, okay, that we've got a madman in the White House and heaven help us, and where's he going to take us, okay? And of course, that is a negative view. What we find harder to do is to accept the fact that all of these changes that are going on are ordained by the universe. Whatever change you're going through that's new and different, okay, your higher self is behind all of this, because evolution consciously is where humanity is headed. And of course, this will reflect itself in the physical world in terms of the things that we will see developed, realized. AI is becoming a big thing, although I'm not terribly thrilled about it. I don't want it messing with what I'm trying to share, all right? But it's coming about. You know, we know that space travel and talk of going to other planets, which still makes me scratch my head to a degree, is happening. The world of the Leave It to Beaver days, the emotional blanket days, is slowly being replaced by the challenge to accept the responsibility for these unexpected changes. Okay? And there's more to come. Okay? If you watched a couple of my last videos, I think I mentioned the fact of when Trump's Uranus begins to square the ascendant and the descendant in his chart, okay, that we could see some pretty outrageous behavior and activity. And we have to get away from focusing on the negative, okay? We have to get away from denying dealing with our fears, okay? And again, this is why I have the other channel, Whispers for Those Who Are Awakening, because I'm going to be conducting at some point during the rest of this month, I'm going to be doing a live stream called Wisdom for Those Awakening Conscious Knowledge. And over the last couple of weeks, maybe the last month or so, I've been getting in these diagrams, okay, that deal with the very intimate, articulate way in which our consciousness is evolving and the challenges that bring, and also the revelations that'll bring. And what I'm going to do is on a evening or a night, I'm going to do a live stream, and hopefully some will join that live stream with me. And I'm going to share with you that conscious knowledge that I've experienced through my own process of evolution and awakening, so that the unknown can be somewhat comprehended mentally for some, and for others who are aware and awake, maybe there are some things I can share with you that you have thought you may have experienced, but you were uncertain about what happened. Okay? So I'm going to lay out the entire territory of conscious evolution as I have experienced it. Okay? And hopefully, those of you that are hungry, those of you that are thirsty for more knowledge about what is happening consciously, will join me in those live streams. Ask some questions. Help others through sharing of your own experience, because this is why I feel led to do this. It is to help you to deal with the changes that are going on that I've talked about here, and to assure you, all right, that what is happening, while emotionally it seems very challenging, that we are evolving consciously as a race. Okay? We're moving past our insecurity, moving past our fear, okay? Coming to terms with it, learning to be healed from it, learning to become empowered again, and not to live in a state of dependency and of having to find some kind of savior to help us through into the future, okay? So, again, this is something that I'll put out in the community, and I'll make you aware of this. I'm going to give time to promote this because I want you to have a real clear understanding of what I'm going to do during this live stream. I'm going to be sharing with you the knowledge consciously that I have been given, and talk very intricately through these images and stuff about the inner world, okay? The inner consciousness, okay, of us. Why it is so difficult to leave the past and to embrace the future. What's going on, okay? The fear, what to do, how to deal with the fear, the anxiety, the depression, the frustration, okay? In a non-violent manner, because that's the other side of this coin, okay? You'll remember probably several months ago when I was doing a video, I talked about the fact that Eris, the small planet, not a large planet, not recognized as a big planet, which represents strife and discord, is very close in its aspect to squaring Mercury in the USA chart, and that this aspect is very close for 10 to 15 years. Okay? So, from my perspective, all right, it's going to take probably that long, okay, for us to be able to become adjusted to these changes in consciousness, okay? And again, it's why I feel led to do this live stream with you all, so that you can understand you're not alone, and you can understand the challenges that I have gone through and that CJ has gone through, okay? Because as you know by now, the last couple of months have been very discombobulating for me. I mean, my awareness and stuff would come and go. I'd feel one day about doing a video, and then kind of unexpectedly, minutes later, feeling no desire to do it and wondering what in the world's going on with me. Well, Neptune and Saturn are on my 7th house cusp. So that's really all the explanation I needed. I knew it was coming. I didn't know exactly how it was going to affect me, okay? But I knew it was coming, okay? And that's, again, one of the great benefits of astrology, is that if you're not certain within inside of yourself what's going on, if you know the astrology, if you trust the astrology as a tool of explaining how consciousness is evolving, in particular if you have your birth chart, your own consciousness, you get a forewarning, okay, of how you're going to experience some things, okay? And then through that, you can use that knowledge to uncover and to deal with whatever the issues are that it's trying to present to you, okay, which assists in your conscious growth and evolution, okay. And again, the reason for the other channel is to share with you experiences, all right, feelings that are examples of a shift in consciousness, a shift in conscious awareness, okay, so that you can relate, okay, to these feelings that you have, and you can get some guidance as to what direction and how to deal with it, how I deal with it, okay. So I'm looking forward. Like I said, this is information that my guidance has been giving me for about a month, and I've been able to put it down, and it seems like every time that I write or work with the charts, it's like they come alive to me, you know. And when you're doing any kind of work, period, and it comes alive to you, you feel that combination of inspiration or an anointing, so to speak, you know, that this is something that's pertinent for people. It's important to do this. So I'm looking very much forward to sharing this knowledge, conscious knowledge, okay, on this live stream later this month, okay. And I can assure you that you'll benefit from the insights that are provided in those. And it's going to be about, I think I'm about 2 months into doing it every week, okay. And maybe it'll go beyond that, maybe it won't. But for right now, it's something which I feel, I guess the word I would use is called to do, you know, to get her done. And again, to help all of you that watch my channel to understand what's going on and that I'm not abandoning or leaving you. I just had to adjust the way I was doing things because I was going through these changes. Okay, and I had to understand why. Okay, very uncomfortable at times, but like I said, there's a purpose in it, and I want to try to do what I can to help you to find the purpose in what you're going through, because there's nothing more miserable than feeling absolutely abandoned in life by some event that hits you and blindsides you, and you're not quite sure why it's happening. Okay, all right. So keep in mind, all right, that sometime later this month, I'll let you know through the community section what day and what time. In fact, I would like for those of you that are watching this and are interested in this particular live stream to let me know what day or what hours are best for you, whether the evening or the morning, the weekday or the weekend would be very helpful to me. Okay? And one other thing I want to speak about too. You've noticed probably on my channel, maybe you've wondered about this, that my readership has dropped unbelievably. Okay? When I was doing hundreds and even at times thousands of people viewed the quote videos I did on Trump, the changes going on and everything from a mundane perspective, when I began to talk about consciousness and I began to talk about what we're talking about here in this video, okay, there was a great shift in the amount of people, okay, that were watching the videos. And I want you to know that I expected this, okay? It wasn't something that was easy to accept when I began to notice it. But the more certain I feel inside about the path and direction I'm going with the astrology and with the things that I'm being shown, I know that they can help you to understand the things that are happening in conjunction with the astrology, but not as an escape, but as a revelation of those things that we have to go through if we are to reverse the direction that things are headed, okay? And to positively create a future where Neptune and Pluto are giving us their positive energy. Some of you may realize that you were born in the 50s, possibly, that Pluto and Neptune were sextile at that time. And of course, something that's in your natal chart, all right, is essentially the potential of what you could experience in a lifetime. So that aspect, the sextile, is an aspect of opportunity. Okay, so those of us that are in the age group, 73, 4, 5, maybe on even up to 80, all right, are here because we wanted to go through a conscious change, a conscious evolution. Okay, and of course we didn't expect, anything like what's happened, but what is happening, like I said before, is perfectly in alignment with what was in our birth chart and what is happening, right now. Okay, so you can expect that soul searching is going to be the order of the day for quite a long time. Okay, but along with the soul searching is also the revelations that maybe you're not consciously aware of right now. Okay, that's what we're going to try to deal with. We're going to try to show you what's being revealed and how that can help you to look to the future with much more hope than what maybe you're feeling right now. Okay, uh, thank you for watching. And from the love of my life, CJ, my spiritual partner, and my best friend, we thank you for your support. And by all means, for those of you who haven't had a chance, on Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, CJ and I have the Wisdom for Those Awakening live stream, where a lot of what I've shared in this video is talked about and shared with you. We want to help you to realize you're not alone. We want to help you to understand what is going on. So I want to invite you, join us tomorrow morning. Come and see what we have to offer. Okay? It isn't anything that's going to cost you anything. Okay? Unless you want to make a donation. Okay. Thanks for watching, and I will be seeing you again in the future.